In today's video, Valentina will be making that small step for kerbal, one giant leap for kerbalkind. But we will be showing everything, including building, launching the damn thing, orbital insertion, followed by a successful landing. And that's not all, you will be seeing one of the longest treks I have ever done in a video game, 24 kilometers to get to the Monarch. But let's begin. So, we are doing the one small step for kerbal, which should yield us a 300 science. Our good coffee addict, Dr. Terry Kerman, beside needing even more coffee than she's already drinking, asked us to do that. And we're gonna do spacewalking, we're gonna do the first dibs, which is basically planting the flag, and we'll do a perfect circle. By the way, if my voice sounds a little bit rough, I'm sorry, I've lost my voice, but I have to record because I'm gonna go for a 1-week trip, and well, I want you guys to have something cool to watch. So, research-wise, we have just unlocked the power launchers, thus unlocking tier 2, and we have enough money to unlock the medium orbital rockets, which, trust me, we will be using in today's episode. I mean, especially the poodle and all that jazz. I would love to be able to unlock the fuel lines, however, I don't think that will be possible. However, we do have 158, which means we should be able to unlock at least 3 nodes. I'm gonna unlock the basic docking because I thought, naively, I'm gonna do a Polo-style lander. Later on I realized maybe docking isn't that necessary, but RCS is, so I took the RCS. And for the final one, I thought, well, the research miniaturization would be really good because it would allow my experiment, which I'm going to be sending, to be smaller. So, let's go and plan our round trip to the Mun. It says we need 10,240. Honestly, I would like to be able to disable Kerb in low orbit, for example, insertion and intercept and all that jazz. So I would really like in the trip planner to have check marks for the various components of the trip. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the lander can, and I've placed a little bit of, you know, the docking ports on the top, you know, regular design, fuel tank. I mean, nothing too spectacular here. But I'm still going to do a sort of, not really an Apollo style landing, but I'm going to have a separate lander and a separate can. So the lander will ultimately get, you know, abandoned in the moon's gravity well or in its orbit. And it shall remain there for eternity. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. That looks like my Aunt Thelma. Huh, just kidding. I don't have an Aunt Thelma. But anyway, it looks hideous. So, however, I'm gonna slap some RCS just to be able to rendezvous in a good way. So to say, whether or not I'll need it, I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna save it. Workspace file name, GrunfWorks ships, Moonlander 1. Period. Good. That's it. Got it. I still haven't figured out what the concepts with this is. Basically, you should build multiple craft in one go. I don't know. It's not my shtick. I'm too much of a KSP1 player, you know. I built one craft and that's it. Right, so we're going to be putting the fairing around this, and I've decided to get rid of the docking port. I'm not going to need it, but I'm going to be placing this experiment on top. Maybe I'll even put some extra batteries, or who knows. Yeah, antenna, definitely. That needs to go there. Okay, now let's try the fairing. So, the reason why I did this is because I really didn't want to have a fat fairing. Tried to say fat fairing 3 times in a row. For me, it ends up being het herring. Right. So, that thing being said, well, it still looks fat, but yeah, what can you do? Anyway, I really do like the possibility to disable the fairing, because that means that you can, you know, continue building and plan your craft nonetheless. So look, then on top we put this pod. And we're going to be putting some drogue chutes, some normal chutes, and below that there should be obviously a heat shield, decoupler, followed by the yeah. So here, devs, what I would really love, a box mass simulator. I know that there is a mod, so I would like to put the box on top, and I would like to slide the mass to whatever the hell it is, because I would like to know how much delta V I would get with the ship on top of it. But how much would just this little craft have? And I know I can put it below and have it on the stage. It's not the same thing, trust me. Alright. So, that thing being said, now, let's see, I'm going with the Poodle or... No, that one is too big, I don't need that one. I think I'm gonna go with the Poodle engine. I'm here basically battling because my Delta V readouts didn't want to go as intended, so I'm actually designing this craft blind. I mean, full disclosure, at this time I was playing with the build that wasn't yet released. I was given a pre-build with the developer, so your experience might change. We did ask a couple of content creators did get an early build where we actually played it and tried to record as many episodes for you guys as we could. So that's the idea. So hopefully when you're viewing this video, KSP2 will already be live and you will be enjoying the crap out of it. Because I sure know I am. Right. So at the bottom of this we'll put the skipper engine and let's see how our Delta V reading is currently. You see, it says 6072. I don't believe that for 1 minute. Alright. Ejection force. I would really love that the ejection force on the fairings doesn't kick them upwards, basically directly upwards. They should go to the sides. Alright, let's put some boosters. I was thinking of putting, you know, like swivels here, 4 of them, and yeah, to make things rather simple. They should be smaller, they should be burning, and we should be able to throttle and control them. Hold on. Bigger are better, isn't it? And besides, these are SRBs, which means they're cool. Right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be putting the cool SRBs here, and I might cram in another tank just for that extra oomph. There we go. Then we put the launch clamps. Just stick them on nicely. There we go. 4-way symmetry. Perfect. Now, honestly, guys, I haven't seen the rocket wobbliness yet. So I typically still use struts because of, you know, habit, but then again it might not be necessary in this case. As always, I'm checking my staging and my Delta V says 7.7 thousand. I know that that's not the case, so I know it should be a bit more, but that's okay. Just making the final adjustments to my staging. Yeah, there we go. 1.45. I think that's enough. Actually, you know what? I might need to attach some extra boosters on the side of this rocket. Yeah, this will be a little bit of a special build. Because you know what? The Delta V required on these big boosters is gonna propel the rocket upwards, but it's not gonna propel it so high that where it wouldn't need an extra kick, so it will struggle to get into the atmosphere. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add an additional set of 4 hammers. We have Val and Jeb, which we're gonna be placing here. Okay, so for the extra boosters, let's see, where do we go? Stack the couplers. I was thinking here, but no, they will be in the way. I don't think that will work, right? Actually, I'm gonna place it here. Yes, I know they will be blowing directly onto the fins. Well, if they blow them off, I don't care. Checking my staging once again, and let's proceed to the launch. Alright, let's do this. And ignition and liftoff. You will notice once again that I first fire the boosters and then I fire the launch clamps. Specific reason, tried multiple times to have them on the same stack, and the rocket just falls down, which is kind of ridiculous. By the way, you're seeing this grossly accelerated, and look at this. An extra set of boosters. Yes, please. Now detach them, and now look, our apoapsis is in the 60s range, which is decent given that our thrust to weight is 1. There we go, nicely going upwards, and we're gonna go for the circularization. By the way, guys, you know, I tend to keep my playthroughs a little bit accelerated. I still haven't heard from you if it's okay for you or not, because it would make the episodes much longer, and I'm trying not to waste your time. So I think this way you still see the full adventure. Music is not accelerated, which is kind of important, and I do like this pacing where you actually... things are happening, things are popping, what can I tell you? Oh, experimentus interruptus. Whoopsie. Okay, but anyway, we're gonna go with a perfect circle as the first. So we're gonna go for the 100 by 100 kilometer orbit. That's goal number 1. It's a side mission, but then again, why don't do it? I'm a bit of a completionist. I like to do all of them at the same time. There we go, beautiful. Okay, let's create a maneuver node, or maneuver plan, the way it's called in KSP2. Getting ready, and kick it. Note that I'm burning very, very gently with a reduced thruster, so that's why you're not seeing the fumes. And when we get to the periapsis, I also gotta burn, literally, honestly, I have to fart to get this amount of delta V acceleration. So, you know, I just go, press the acceleration, and it goes like... So, that's enough. See? Science reward. We're doing farts for science. Yes. Right. So, we have established the perfect fart. Oh, sorry, the perfect circle. Right. Now, with the perfect circle gone, we have one small step and first dibs. And we also did the spacewalking because we just popped our kerbal out. You know, we popped it out, show it to the world, and just popped it back in. I'm talking about kerbal, of course. Anyway. Moon periapsis, we're just gonna go tweak a little bit to see that we can get the most efficient maneuver, because we do want to land on the moon, so there's a lot of delta V involved, and you know, my craft file has a little bit of, you know, how do you say, deficiency, or not deficiency, let's call it anxiety, because the builder told it it's too low on delta V. I don't believe that for one word. So let's go burn towards the moon. There we go. Look at that poodle engine. God, you love poodles. My mom had 5 of them. Whew, bless her. Anyway, yeah. Well, I don't mind the poodles as dogs, but I mean, 5 of them. Jeez. They're cute ones, though. I cannot say. I enjoyed playing with them as a kid. Anyway, let's go and leave Kerbin's sphere of influence. Do some science. Again, experimentus interruptus. Now, I'm not sure if that's a bug or not, but let's go to the moon's sphere of influence, shall we? There we go, come on. And a little bit more, a little bit more. There you go. And we've got the drums of moon. I'm honestly really love the soundtrack. I mean, whoever did the soundtrack, I think the guy's name is Howard. I mean, awesome work, man. And after another experimentus interruptus, we're gonna perform some science, get out, try to do observation, get in, and transmit what we can transmit. After that, we're gonna go and set up a maneuver node. Oh, research report submitted, good. We're gonna be doing a maneuver node here. And we're gonna make a circular orbit around moon. I'm thinking somewhere in the 50s to 35-ish range. And look at the moon coming in. Oh, no, that was a warp. Right, so interactive near maneuver. Yeah, I know. We're basically just popping out to grab a coffee. That's fine. After all, Carrie asked for some mooner coffee. She's a coffee addict, like me. Now, what else do we got? We have burned this inside, good. We have gotten all of the samples, and it's time to actually plan our landing spot. Research report submitted. Oh, you know what we should do? Let's do a little bit of time skip. Oh, look at the kerbal back. You know what that means? It's time for a selfie. Why? What's wrong? Valentina? Talk to me. No, she wasn't happy because she couldn't take a proper selfie. I was looking at her forehead rather than her, so we have decided to repeat the experiment. Now, oh, look how much is she smiling. Alright, perfect. Okay, Val, get back inside. We gotta get you to the moon surface. Oh, look at all that. Talk about IVAs. It does look cool, gotta tell you that. And with another lunar morning approaching, we are going slowly towards our, landing spot. I was surveying the area and I noticed this. Look at this. This is a monarch, I believe. One of those, discoverables, as they call them. And it's not the golden one. I think it's the regular one. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go there. Definitely looks good. I'm not sure if I want to land on that area, but I'm gonna land close by. So I'm thinking I want to do is I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna decouple. Jeb, stay in the orbit, will ya? I'll need you to basically not dock to you, but I'll need to, talk to you later. Right. So let's create a maneuver node that will slow us down and hopefully get us somewhere close. And by close I do mean, walking distance. As it turns out, this was my curse. Now, there we go. Pointing the craft maneuver prograde and hitting the afterburners. Alright, beautiful. Some flickering aside. We are getting ready to do the burn. And at the burn we have just executed so. Anyway, on my second pass, I was already getting ready to, land the ship down, so I'm going here and I'm gonna be hitting the burners. There we go. Then I forgot that the Terrier isn't that efficient of an engine, so, I mean, it's efficient, it's not powerful. So we are landing, well, we're still close to the Monarch, right? Right? Okay, I'm gonna kill my vertical velocity because I don't want to be drifting further away from the Monarch. Yeah, I mean, it looks doable. Clearly, I must have underestimated how just huge these things are. However, right now, no time for that, let's focus on the landing. And you might be saying, but GrunfWorks, you have enough delta V to go. Yeah, but I don't know that. Look at my delta V reading. It says 0. So I'm here flying blind, honestly, guys. And careful, easy does it. And there we go. Beautiful. Science reward. We have landed on the moon. Or Mun. So we have some science ticking. Let's tick it off. Okay, let's do this. Transmit everything. And we have earned some science points. Right. Valentina, will you be please doing the honors of basically collecting some samples? First lunar sample. First steps on the moon. I wanted it to be recorded for posterity. Crew observation now takes a little bit of time, and scooping in, also takes a little bit of time. Awesome. Okay, time to plant the flag of not GrunfWorks. I gotta fix that, really. Val was here, correctly, yes. And oh, look at that. Sorry, my camera sometimes plays tricks with me. It's not a bug, it's a feature. No, it's basically, and the bug is between my monitor and my chair. So it's basically yours truly. Now, I didn't know that you didn't need to go inside to store the experiment, so I did it anyway. And now we're gonna get ready for the epic kerbalkind's travel to the Moon Arch. And I think direction should be 315, and I've used the monopropellant to a degree. The footage is accelerated to 8 times at some points, so your sanity doesn't get affected as mine did. That got me quite close, but that meant I had to run a whole lot. I mean, we are talking 24 kilometers, 12 there and 12 back. Half of it was flown, so in total I think I ended up running 6 kilometers. I mean, if Valentina ever needed an exercise, she has gotten one. I managed to get some, and then I realized when I came to this Moon Arch, holy crap, that's huge. So I clearly misjudged the landing. I'm not gonna repeat the same mistake twice. Now, took a couple of screenshots, and she was already looking at me weird, like, what the hell are you doing? I mean, come on, move it, GrunfWorks, you dum-dum. So yeah, after a noticeable trip there and back, I have decided to come close to the Moon Arch, Mare or whatever you're gonna call it, and perform some science experiment. See, location landed Moon Arches. So we're gonna do the surface survey, get that extra dirt inside there, thank you, and let's do the crew observation. Yeah, she looks a little bit around, looks at me funny, thinking, you know, you douchebag, you had me run for, you know, this many kilometers. While we're here, let's plant another flag. Oh, come on, stop yawning, I'm not that boring. Am I? Alright. I mean, that was a rhetorical question. I know I'm boring, and people actually told me I put them to sleep with my videos. Well, that's good to know. I mean, it serves a purpose. So, now, there we go. So, we should be running back, and don't worry, I'm gonna make it at one time acceleration all the way. No, who am I kidding? Come on, this cannot be done. So what I did rather, I'm gonna accelerate it, let's say, 2.5 times to start with, followed by 4, and then 400%, and then, you know, a bit more. But the trip back was really eventful. It took a lot of running, and when we came on over the bridge, it was just 11.7 kilometers, and I was questioning my decisions in life, especially the ones to basically take the kerbal out and have it run. You can see the distance that is here and compared to the scale of my kerbonaut. Yes. Okay, tell you what I'm gonna do. Let's go fly a little bit more. I have to reserve a little bit extra of monopropellant just to be on the safe side, but okay, I should be slowing down right about somewhere here-ish. Come on, a little bit more, Okay, I did have to leave that extra ounce of fuel just to make sure I managed to land, and after a lot of walking, my tiny lander has basically shown its face. Boy, I was happy to see it. Honestly, guys. That thing is just crazy. Alright, after posing for another selfie, yeah, I know, Valentina, come on. You know, you should be happy, you're on the freaking moon. Mun, whatever. Okay, so without my, you know, things running dry. Okay, I have collected everything. Pop up a couple of quick saves just to be on the safe side, and then decided to hoof it along, no problem. There we go. Burning, and the apoapsis is 19, so I'm actually expecting to do a rendezvous with that capsule. Without the docking, remember? We're just doing the rendezvous. So we're supposed to meet it somewhere, and I'm just now trying to find for an optimal location, and after a little bit of fiddling I managed to find one. So we're gonna do a burn, which will basically secure us the rendezvous, which should happen in roughly 10 seconds-ish. And hit it. Now notice that I have 0 readings in terms of how much is this supposed to be on the burn timer. Yeah, the joys of early access. Okay. Fortunately enough, I know enough about this game to perform it manually, one way or the other. So here we have our target marker, and we see that we are closing in. So I'm actually going to burn a little bit towards it to ensure that it passes overhead, and then I'll be aligning the prograde and the retrograde markers. I do want to have a little bit quicker target relative velocity. Okay, we're going to be docking or rendezvousing in the sunlight. That was my intention all along. There we go. We're still on a suborbital trajectory, so we have to be extra careful. Okay, and after doing this, I have to make sure that I point the retrograde marker so they're aligned. So I'm gonna push the green retrograde marker, that's mine, to the retrograde marker of my target, which should be basically putting us at the same space in the sky soon enough. Accelerating a little bit, monitoring my target velocity. Okay, so we're gonna be passing 200 meters away from each other. Good. This is, by the way, also a short tutorial how you do a rendezvous, in case you didn't know. Right, so we are closing in, and I'm gonna decelerate ever so gently while keeping my green marker on top of the retrograde marker for the target. There we go, 100 meters. Oh, and look, it's spinning. Jeb, what the hell are you doing? Come on, Jeb. Okay, I mean, relative velocity is not that big of a deal. Let's just go get out there and take our science, experiments, knowledge, and everything we did back there. I am worried about that spin, though. Can we try it? Don't hit me in the head. Don't. Tell you what, Jeb, turn the SAS on and stop faffing around. Well, please go and, you know, get in with Jeb. Okay, that just sounded dirty. Anyway, there we go. Come on. Board. Thank you. Board. Yes. Reports transferred. Beautiful. So that means we should be planning the return. Okay, after some fiddlage, we got the periapsis right to where we want it. Soon enough. 35, and let's now do the burn. The burn will be 276. I told you that this vehicle was massively over-engineered. Maybe it's not built for a precision landing, but basically just to land, it's good enough. Look at this beautiful departure. Val and Jeb, you got this. And we did a speedy return back to Kerbin. We're just making sure that we are getting, you know, closer to the atmosphere over this beautiful sunrise. I'm also going to point the orbit retrograde, and the moment we basically get close to the atmosphere, I'm going to brake. I'm going to hit those poodles so hard that basically until the entirety of my fuel tank is depleted. So, oh, maybe not all. I have decided to save some fuel because I wanted to land close to the KSC, so I figured. Okay, now let's do this. I should probably get rid of this thing. My parachutes are armed and I'm ready to go. I noticed that we could be actually landing quite close to the KSC, which was actually a beautiful thing. Little did I know that we're basically not gonna make it that far. Alright. Alright. Coming in ever so closer. Alright, and landing, and here we go. Beautiful. Now, let's go and claim our rewards. Over and out. Mission completed. Try again. First dibs. Let's submit that. Mission completed. Try again. Spacewalking. Extra points. Let's do this. Mission completed. Try again. And finally, one small step. But there we go, this yielded us a metric crap ton of science, a grand total of around 1300. So hopefully we're gonna use it in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.